Do you remember a time when you were so happy about something that you celebrated all around town like a man possessed, making the sort of body movements that would make everyone cringe, or feel awkward, or just laugh at your stupidity? Well, you can't blame yourself when you're this excited about something because, hey, the world wouldn't really understand why you're acting the way you are. Sometimes our emotions get the better of us and make us do things that, let's just say, aren't too conventional. Naturally, athletes aren't any different from us in this regard. Throughout the history of football, we've seen our fair share of weird and awkward celebrations that not many people in the stands will understand. But for the players, those celebrations mean a lot. So today at Goalside, we decided to talk about some of the celebrations that were so awkward and weird that every time we watch them, we feel equally weird and awkward. Mario Balotelli. The Italian striker is quite a nomad and has journeyed all over Europe in order to find a place he can call home. Balotelli has been a super awkward character to deal with for many of his previous managers, and while his talent is undoubted, his idiosyncrasies are the reason why he hasn't enjoyed as much success as his talents warranted. Balotelli is an enigma, so his celebrations were always going to be enigmatic. There was a time during his career at Manchester City when he literally stopped celebrating his goals no matter how good they were. While speaking to the UK media about his unwillingness to jump for joy after finding the back of the net, the former Inter man said that he has never seen a postman celebrate delivering post, and that scoring goals is his job, so there's no reason to go bananas over finding the back of the net. Well, we have to agree, but then there was another instance where Balotelli complained to the whole world about his issues after scoring a goal. What did he do? Well, he just put his shirt up and revealed another shirt that said, "Why always me?" This was a time when Balotelli was attracting a lot of criticism because of his lifestyle, but that's not it. During the semi-finals of Euro 2012, Balotelli scored twice against Germany in what was definitely his finest performance for the Azzurri. His celebration matched his showing as he took off his shirt following his second goal and posed like the Hulk. Safe to say the striker did smash the Germans to bits in that encounter. Vucinich takes off his shorts. Okay, so this particular celebration is borderline weird and extremely awkward. Mirko Vucinich was quite a good striker back in the day and scored a lot of goals during his time in top-flight Italian football. In 2013, as Juventus were chasing a Scudetto, the Montenegro international scored a goal at the death to ensure that his team won the game against Pescara. There were mad scenes in Turin. The striker decided to take off his shorts and waved them over his head. But that wasn't the first time Vucinich felt the need to show his knickers. He did the same thing in a game against Switzerland, and in fact, he went even further by wearing the shorts on his head. Also, Vucinich isn't the first player to do something like this. Former Man City midfielder Stephen Ireland once celebrated a goal for his club by dropping his shorts. Similarly, Laurent Robert also stripped down in his last game for Newcastle United as a way of saying goodbye to the fans on the last day of a season. Well, do you think you want to see your favourite players stripped down to prove a point? Let us know in the comment section. Stjarnan FC take the cake. Stjarnan is a football team that plays top-flight football in Iceland. While they've never really achieved big things in Europe, this is a team that has taken football celebrations to the next level. Every time they celebrate a goal is so well coordinated that you'd think these guys have extra training sessions for these shenanigans. Such extravagant celebrations are rare to find. From pretending to catch a fish to sitting on the toilet seat, this is a team that will give you great moments. One of their most eye-catching celebrations was after a goal, the entire team formed parts of a bike, with the goalscorer jumping aboard and riding it. Griezmann almost hitches a ride. Antoine Griezmann has always had a few quirky celebrations up his sleeves. From a victory dance that you normally see on Fortnite to going towards the stands, the French international loves scoring a goal. However, his weirdest celebration came during his time at Real Sociedad. After finding the back of the net against Deportivo, the forward ran outside the pitch and jumped inside a car and started honking it. Thankfully, he wasn't given a yellow card because there are no rules about excessive celebration. Temuri the anti-capitalist Lone Ranger. Former Georgian international Temuri Ketsabia was always against capitalism, and during his time in the Premier League showcased his hate towards it. In fact, during his time at Newcastle, he made a habit of taking his frustration out on the advertising hoardings. But as it turns out, the player was actually frustrated at not being allowed as much minutes as he would have expected during his time at St James's Park. Definitely a weird way of showing it. Totti takes a selfie. Francesco Totti is one of the greatest players to have played the game. He spent his entire career at AS Roma and always resisted the temptation of moving to a different club for better wages. His love for the club showed during the infamous Derby della Capitale when he scored a goal against Lazio and decided to take his phone from the goalkeeping coach before proceeding to take a selfie with the fans. That's definitely not weird, but slightly awkward for the goalkeeping coach, who was never supposed to hand over a player's phone during a game. Hat-trick results in sending off. Normally you would not see a defender scoring 3 goals in a single game. Well, that happened in a Swedish 3rd division game. Medi Dresevic scored a hat-trick in a 6-1 routing of Tvakers. Upon completing his hat-trick, the 24-year-old went nuts and decided to celebrate the goal himself by heading towards the stands and taking a seat there. As it turns out, the referee had absolutely zero sense of humour and decided to give him a second yellow card, which equates to a sending off. Was it worth it? A headbutt for the ages. European amateur football is littered with some really amazing action that you would never find in professional football. Take for example Italian amateur side Liolo Terme, whose player Jacopo Violan gave us a weird moment we will never forget. The striker went on to score a winning goal against Ponticelli. The goal sparked wild celebrations, and the player decided to take things a step further by headbutting the side out of the dugout, which shattered. Hopefully he wasn't fined for losing his marbles. Fowler Sniffs. Robbie Fowler was definitely one of the best in the business and scored loads of goals for Liverpool. However, Everton fans labelled him a drug addict. Not intimidated by such insults, the England international decided to celebrate in style after scoring against the Toffees, kneeling down next to the sideline and pretending to snort the chalk. Definitely weird, but what a way to get back at your rivals.